On my 99th proposal, Carolina finally agreed to go with me to the Civil Affairs Bureau to get our marriage certificate. But instead of a happy ending, we were met with a stern warning from the clerk. Miss Lynn, our system shows that you already have a legal spouse. If you register with this gentleman, it will constitute bigamy. You could be sentenced to 2 years in prison. I urge you to respect the institution of marriage and the rule of law. Don't treat marriage like a game. I stood there, dumbfounded, unable to accept the fact that the woman I loved, my goddess, had already become someone else's wife. Before I could even ask questions, Carolina snapped. She threw the household registration booklet right into my face. I told you not to come, but you insisted. Would you only be satisfied if I ended up in prison? I've never seen a man so annoyingly persistent in my life. Turns out, a month ago, just to help a cute little intern put on an act, Carolina secretly got married to him. Later on, when she found out that the little puppy was just using her for a marriage scam, she cried and begged me to forgive her. Gabriel, as soon as the 1-month divorce cooling-off period ends, I'll marry you. I'll wait for you outside the Civil Affairs Bureau. Don't be late. 30 days later, it poured. Many people saw a girl in a wedding dress, standing in the storm from morning till night, shivering in the cold, with tears flowing harder than the rain. She was waiting for me to show up, like someone waiting at the airport for a ship that would never arrive. Chapter 1. The goddess I had always dreamed of marrying turned out to already be someone else's wife. It felt more disgusting than having a mouthful of piss forced down your throat. I walked out of the Civil Affairs Bureau with a grim expression. Carolina chased after me and grabbed my arm in the parking lot. Gabriel, what's with the attitude? Alessandro's mom was critically ill. Her dying wish was to meet her daughter-in-law. So I registered the marriage to make her happy. What? Is that some kind of unforgivable crime? I was doing a good deed. You're a grown man, can you not be so petty like a sulky little housewife? I didn't even want to tell you, but you insisted on registering the marriage. Now you've embarrassed yourself, and dragged me into it too. She actually pinned all the blame on me. Carolina and I had been in a relationship for 7 years. I had proposed 99 times. The first time, she said she was too young. The second, she said she hadn't had enough fun yet. The 10th, she said I wasn't sincere enough. The 20th, she claimed to be allergic to roses. The 50th, her favorite celebrity had broken up, and she wasn't in the mood. The 88th, her pet dog had died, and she needed 3 months to mourn. On the 99th proposal, I gave her an ultimatum. If we didn't get married, we'd break up. She finally agreed to come with me to the registry, only for me to almost get thrown in jail for bigamy. People are strange. When heartbreak and anger reach a certain point, you don't even cry anymore, you start laughing. Laughing at how much of a damn fool you are. I'm sorry, it's my fault. I shouldn't have forced you to marry me. Hearing the despair in my voice, Carolina finally looked a little guilty. Gabriel. Even though I married Alessandro Sue, it was only in name. We never slept together. I never cheated on you. Try to see it that way. I wonder if it's because of the marriage to dispel bad luck. But Aunt Sue's health has gotten much better. I'll divorce Alessandro as soon as possible, then go with you to register our marriage. She wanted to say more, but her phone rang. What did you say, Alessandro? Your mom wants to eat dumplings made by me. I'll be right there. Then, without hesitation, she snatched the car keys from my hand. I have to go now. You take a cab home. Carolina and I had been together for 7 years. In all that time, she never once made dumplings for my mother. Heck, she never even washed a dish at my parents' house. Nothing stings quite like comparison. What cuts deeper than a snowstorm is a blatant double standard. My phone rang too. My mother's worried voice came through. Son, can you finally get married this time? Your dad and I have been waiting to become grandparents. My hand trembled as I held the phone. After 7 years of back and forth, Carolina hadn't just worn me down, she dragged my parents into this emotional mess as well. Mom, it's over between me and Carolina. Chapter 2. That night, I downed a whole bottle of strong Baijiu. I was never much of a drinker, but some nights demand the numbness that only alcohol can bring. Carolina called several times during the night and left voice messages. Gabriel, there's a 30-day cooling-off period required for divorce now, so even if I file with Alessandro tomorrow, we can't register our marriage for another month. Don't rush. Don't pressure me. I won't be coming back tonight. Aunt Sue won't let me leave. I quietly deleted all her messages and passed out in a fog. The next morning, my hangover felt like my head was splitting apart. Still, I forced myself to get up and went to the office to begin the process of resigning. The company was part of Carolina's family business. She had a younger brother once, but after his unexpected death, she became the sole heir. She told me she needed someone trustworthy to manage the company's finances, and she didn't trust outsiders, so I gave up my own career path to be the man behind her success. She also said workplace romances were bad for the company's image, so she asked me to keep our relationship secret. Over the past 7 years, With my full support, Carolina had taken complete control of the business. Even though anyone with eyes could tell how devoted I was to her, I remained invisible in public. "Once we get married, you'll finally have your rightful place," she used to say. She kept giving me empty promises, like a carrot dangling in front of a donkey pulling a millstone. Always tempting, never within reach. Now I was exhausted. I didn't want to play this donkey game anymore. Just as I was calmly organizing my resignation paperwork, the company group chat suddenly lit up with a string of ding-ding notifications, followed by a wave of shocked reactions from my colleagues. Whoa! Chairman Lin and Alessandro got married. Oh my god! They even posted their wedding photos in the group chat. Look how happy Chairman Lin is. She looks like a woman bathing in the glow of true love. TSK. That Alessandro kid's really something. Just 3 months as an intern, and he managed to bag the beautiful CEO. Now he's marrying rich, young, and gorgeous, living the dream. Forget saving 20 years of hard work, this guy just reincarnated straight into a better life. The office buzzed with envy and gossip about Alessandro. But, if Chairman Lin married Alessandro, then what does that make Supervisor Gabriel? I always thought they were the real couple. Someone whispered quietly. What does it make him? A shameless third wheel. A toad thinking it could win the heart of a swan. Chapter 3. Someone deliberately mocked me aloud. It was no surprise. I'd always been meticulous at work. When it came to reimbursements, I double-checked every single receipt and invoice, leaving no room for shady tricks. Naturally, that didn't win me many friends. Before, people were cautious because of my relationship with Carolina. They kept their resentment quiet. But now that I had clearly fallen out of favor, they pounced like vultures, eager to kick me while I was down. No kidding. Acting all high and mighty just because he thought he was Chairman Lin's man. Buffed. What a delusional clown. I say this clingy mutt's about to pack his crap and crawl out of here. They made sure to speak loud enough for me to hear. A few upright colleagues looked like they wanted to defend me, but the moment they opened their mouths, they fell silent, because Alessandro had arrived, in a flashy white suit, no less. He carried a big bag of wedding candy. As he walked around handing it out, everyone put on their best smile, eager to flatter him. Congrats, Boss Sue. Wishing you a lifetime of happiness and lots of babies. Boss Sue, you're clearly a man among men. What a perfect match for Chairman Lin. Alessandro Sue was just a probationary assistant, but ever since he became Carolina Lin's legal husband, he'd suddenly become the company's second-in-command. That Boss Sue rolled off everyone's tongues so naturally. Alessandro ate it up. No one saw anything wrong with the new hierarchy. Once he finished handing out the sweets, Alessandro strutted over to me. He pulled a bottle of aged vinegar out of his pocket and handed it to me. Supervisor Gabriel, we're out of wedding candies. So here, have a bottle of wedding vinegar instead. There was nothing but provocation in Alessandro's eyes. Ha ha ha. The whole office burst into laughter, the air full of cheer, except I had become the clown, the butt of the joke. You can keep it. I had no intention of arguing with a petty man riding high on his moment. But of course, that kind of person never knows when to quit. They have to get in your face. Oh, so Supervisor Gabriel doesn't like vinegar. Ah, fine. How about I get you a few hats instead? Green ones, the trendy kind. One for every member of your family. Ha ha. It was one thing to insult me, but now he was dragging my family into it. I couldn't hold back any longer. Bang. I punched Alessandro square in the face, knocking him off his feet. Mr. Sue, are you okay? A crowd of co-workers swarmed in, fumbling to help him up. Blood streamed from Alessandro's nose. He wiped it with the back of his hand and gave me a snarling, blood-smeared smile. You bastard, you dare hit me. Get him. Whoever beats him the hardest gets double their year-end bonus. With that kind of reward, of course some lapdogs would jump at the chance. 3 or 4 male colleagues rushed me, knocking me down and kicking me repeatedly. My glasses shattered. My eye socket split open. Blood poured down my face. Alessandro, panting heavily, grabbed the bottle of Shangxi vinegar and smashed it over my head. Crack! The glass broke. My vision went black. I lost consciousness. In the final second before everything faded, I thought I heard Carolina's voice, raw and heart-wrenching. Gabriel. Chapter 4. When I opened my eyes again, I was already lying in a hospital bed. Gabriel, you're awake. Carolina had been sitting at my bedside. She immediately grabbed my hand in concern. Does your head still hurt? It had been a long time since she'd spoken to me this gently, at least not since Alessandro showed up. Alessandro had joined the company 3 months ago as an intern. He was a college athlete who specialized in aerobics, tall, broad-shouldered, with a fit physique. At the time, Carolina had been obsessed with getting in shape, so she made Alessandro her assistant and personal trainer. She kept saying how Alessandro was better than those gym trainers who only tried to upsell memberships. At first, I didn't think much of it, but as time passed, their relationship became less and less professional, more flirtatious, more physically close. Her attitude toward me grew distant, indifferent. I started to feel the threat, but every time I asked her to set boundaries with Alessandro, she accused me of being paranoid and insecure. She insisted nothing had happened between them. I was just about to speak, but her gentle tone suddenly turned to reproach. Gabriel, you really went too far. How could you hurt yourself just to frame Alessandro? All the co-workers said it. You were the one who provoked Alessandro. He kept holding back, and then you smashed that vinegar bottle on your own head. You're not a child anymore. Can't you act a little more mature? I already told you the divorce takes at least a month. Stop being so aggressive. Alessandro's just a sweet, innocent boy. You scared him so badly, he cried. When you see him next, you need to apologize. You're 7 or 8 years older. You should act like a big brother. Carolina kept talking with this air of self-righteousness, pinning all the blame on me like she was completely in the right. I didn't even feel like defending myself anymore. I was leaving anyway. Whether I was misunderstood or not didn't matter anymore. I'm tired. Okay, then I'll stay with you a little on. Her phone rang before she could finish. What? You hit someone while driving. Are they hurt? Don't cry, don't be scared. I'm on my way. She hung up and rushed out of the room. That Bentley she drove off in. It was her birthday gift from me earlier this year. Now it was Alessandro's flashy ride for parading around town like a peacock. In the days that followed, Carolina never came back. Instead, she hired a private caregiver to look after me. She even blocked me from viewing her social media posts, hiding her updates. But in the company group chat, it was like a live-streaming honeymoon. Updates came in every day. Carolina and Alessandro vacationing abroad, full of love and sunshine. They went shopping together, strolled hand in hand, and basked in the sun on a beach somewhere. There was even a picture of Alessandro rubbing sunscreen onto Carolina's bikini-clad back. His hands lingered, teasing, intimate, enough to make anyone blush. Half a month later, I was finally discharged from the hospital. I took a cab home alone. The moment I stepped inside, I saw Carolina beaming with joy as she unpacked the things she'd bought on her overseas trip. There were dozens of sets of fun lingerie and stockings. Carolina used to dress quite conservatively, but ever since she met Alessandro, her style had grown more and more provocative. Oh, you're out already? Carolina looked visibly startled. I was on a business trip these past few days, a big overseas order. She fumbled through her explanation, quickly trying to hide a pair of men's swim trunks in her hand. I just wanted to show Alessandro a bit of the world. Don't get the wrong idea, we got 2 separate hotel rooms. You know, I used to have a little brother, and after he passed away, I just treated Alessandro like a brother to spoil. It's fine, as long as you're happy. I couldn't be bothered to listen to her insincere excuses anymore. I quietly walked to the guest bedroom. Chapter 5. That night, Carolina walked into the guest bedroom wearing her newly bought fun lingerie and a pair of neon stockings, crawling onto the bed with a seductive smile. Gabriel, we haven't been intimate in so long. Tonight, let me make it up to you with my body. As she spoke, she reached out to unbutton my pajamas. In the past, every time she turned down my marriage proposal, she would try to make it up to me with physical affection. I used to fall for this kind of seduction, but now, it only made me feel sick. Don't. I slapped her wandering hand away. Carolina's face twisted in frustration and humiliation. Fine, Gabriel, you really don't know how to appreciate what's given to you. I said I was sorry. What more do you want? I replied flatly. I'm a man of principle. I don't sleep with someone else's wife. That one sentence hit like a spell. It left Carolina completely speechless. The awkward moment was broken by loud pounding at the door outside. It was Alessandro. Chairman Lin, my mom wants me and my wife to sleep in the same bed. She's dying to see a grandchild soon. She kicked me out. Now I'm homeless. Can I stay with you? She's going to video call me later to check if we're really sleeping in the same bed. Carolina turned to me, torn, eyes flickering with guilt. Gabriel, you see, I'll give you 2 some space. Wouldn't want you blowing your cover. I calmly got out of bed and picked up the suitcase I had already packed that evening. Relief washed over Carolina's face instantly. Okay, then maybe stay at a hotel for a few days. I'll play the role of Mrs. Sue one more time for Sue's mom tonight. Tomorrow, I'll go file for divorce with Alessandro. After the 1-month cooling-off period, we'll meet at the Civil Affairs Bureau like we said. Even though Alessandro and I will sleep in the same bed tonight, we'll use separate blankets, so don't worry. She was still explaining herself, but I had already walked out the door. I hailed a cab and headed straight to the airport. A month later, the sky was gray and rainy. Carolina was going to the Civil Affairs Bureau to register our marriage. Her divorce cooling-off period with Alessandro had ended. She was officially single again, but Alessandro wasn't giving up so easily. He pouted and whined, clinging to her. refusing to let her leave. Chairman Lin, what's wrong with me? Can't our fake marriage become real? I love you. I'm your husband, not Gabriel. Gabriel's been gone for a whole month. That means he knows you've moved on. He's probably bowed out on his own to avoid humiliation. Alessandro tried to say more, but Carolina slapped him hard across the face. Alessandro, do yourself a favor, look in the mirror and wake up. You think I'd marry you? Please. You wish. Our marriage was fake from the start. Don't delude yourself. I also found out your mom was faking her illness. Be glad I didn't call the police and charge you with fraud. Count your blessings and give up your fantasy. I'm the kind of woman you can never have. Only Gabriel is worthy of being my lifelong partner. Amid Alessandro's bitter, resentful glare, Carolina arrived at the Civil Affairs Bureau in the pouring rain, still dressed in a custom-designed wedding gown. She texted me, "Husband, I'm waiting at the entrance of the Civil Affairs Bureau. Rain or shine, my love for you doesn't waver. Come, take your bride home." Chapter 6. The rapid ascent pressed me back into my seat. The blurred city slowly faded from view. The plane was resisting gravity, and I was resisting you. Over the past 7 years, I had traveled often for business. Every time the plane took off, as the city below turned into a blur, I would find myself overwhelmed with longing for Carolina. I would miss her before I even left. But this time was different. This time, as the plane soared to 30,000 feet above the clouds, my heart felt light. I felt released. I felt free. To let go is to gain. Only by learning to give up relentless obsession can one find true peace within. The plane ticket I bought was to South City, in the land of Sichuan. But South City was just a stopover. My real journey was just beginning. From there, I'd begin a cycling trip along National Highway 318, heading southwest, all the way to the foothills of the Himalayas. Nothing can stop you when your heart yearns for freedom. Everyone has that dream deep inside, to ride through the wilderness, to see the snow-capped mountains and endless grasslands. But for the past 7 years, I've been chained to work. Not just a spontaneous trip, even a full, undisturbed weekend felt like a luxury. Working 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. 6 days a week was the norm. Sometimes I'd go full throttle, 007 style, all day, all night. To help Carolina run the company, I gave up nearly all of my personal passions. And what did I get in return? Criticism. That I was boring, that I lacked spontaneity, that I was dull, that I didn't understand romance. When Carolina first took over the company, she was also a workaholic, determined to prove to the world that a daughter could run the family business just as well as a son. She and I worked side by side, burning the midnight oil, driven and disciplined. Back then, we were not only lovers in life, we were true partners at work. But in the last 2 years, as the company grew and her position became unshakable, Carolina began to slack off. Her energy drifted from business to indulgence, wine tasting, spa sessions, designer shopping, golf, horseback riding, celebrity chasing. She became a regular in elite social circles and surrounded herself with so-called socialites. I understood it at first. She was still a young and beautiful woman. After working so hard, she deserved to enjoy life a little. But the more she relaxed, the more I tightened up. I poured even more of myself into the company, which meant even less time for her. Naturally, our relationship grew distant. And right at that vulnerable moment, Alessandro slithered in. A jock with charm, he could sing, dance, play basketball. He had even spent 2.5 years training as a K-pop idol trainee. Though he never debuted, he was well trained in flattery, reading people, and sweet-talking. He knew exactly how to win a woman's heart. He took Carolina out to experience all kinds of new, exciting things: karaoke, bar hopping, skiing, pickup games. Every day brought her stimulation and surprises. Compared to that, I became even more boring in her eyes. I had felt hurt. I had complained. I had even gotten angry. Why couldn't she see my efforts? Did she think I didn't want to have fun too? But now, I've made peace with it. The truth is, I was too good to her, too responsible, too selfless, so much so that she took me for granted. To put it bluntly, I was a fool, but not anymore. I'm done being a fool. Now, I'm setting out to rediscover my own life, to chase my own freedom. Thankfully, the Lin family hadn't shortchanged me financially over the years. Between my salary and bonuses, I cleared over 3 million yuan annually. Chapter 7. Since I had almost no personal expenses, over the past 7 years, I managed to save nearly 20 million yuan. I figured buying property wasn't cost-effective, so I invested it all in gold instead. Recently, the gold market had been skyrocketing. After doing the math, I realized my net worth had already surpassed 100 million. I had achieved financial freedom, no longer bound to the grind. I could finally start living for myself. After a few days of rest in South City, I gathered all the gear I needed for the journey, then hit the road. I cycled along the highway, soaking in the pastoral beauty of the plains. the rainy charm of the City of Mists, the breathtaking cliffs of the Dada River Gorge, and the cultural richness of historic towns along the ancient T-Horse Road. I crossed mountains and valleys. From the mountaintops, I could see endless snow-capped peaks and winding roads below. It was a photographer's paradise. Boundless grasslands, winding streams, golden poplar trees, layered mountain ranges, scattered Tibetan villages, peaceful cattle and sheep grazing across the hills. Towering cliffs lined both sides of the river. As water roared through the gorge below, I saw alpine lakes, blue as sapphires. I saw the famous 72 bends of the Nujiang River, the mountain roads curling like a giant dragon across the peaks when viewed from above. I wasn't racing for speed, just savoring the scenery, so my pace was slow. A month had passed before I reached Nyanki. The path had taken me through thick forests, crystal clear streams, and towering snow mountains. It was then that I received a message from Carolina. "Husband, I'm waiting at the Civil Affairs Bureau. Rain or shine, my love for you never falters. Come, take your bride home." Turns out, she had remembered the promise we made a month ago, and I had completely forgotten it. If this had been the past, seeing her take the initiative to marry me would have moved me to tears. I'd have believed that, at long last, the clouds had parted and I could finally see the moon. But now, I was awake. Carolina was never my moon. She was my black hole. She devoured my freedom, my love, my dignity, and my sense of self. Now that I had finally escaped, how could I go back? Why would I walk straight into the trap again? So I replied, "Carolina, it's over between us. I'm not marrying you. Let's part ways in peace and move on with our lives." Her reply came almost instantly. "Why? Don't you love me anymore?" That question was far too difficult to answer. A text wasn't enough. Even an essay wouldn't do it justice. But I was in the middle of admiring the most breathtaking views of my life. I didn't want to waste any more energy on this woman. So I sent the shortest possible answer. "I don't want to marry a divorced woman." It wasn't that I looked down on divorced women. I just wanted to sting Carolina a little, because she never respected marriage, so she didn't deserve my respect either. There was a few seconds of silence. Then came a barrage of calls. I could only imagine how furious she must have been, but I didn't want to argue. I blocked her. And just like that, the world became quiet. Outside the Civil Affairs Bureau, the rain came down harder. Carolina wore only a thin white wedding dress, already soaked through by the downpour. It clung tightly to her body, outlining every curve, but there was nothing romantic about the scene, only misery. Chapter 8. Carolina felt cold, but not as cold as her heart. She kept calling Gabriel, over and over again. At first, she was filled with rage. How dare he? Discriminating against her as a divorced woman. He owed her an apology immediately, but the only response she got was that cold, robotic voice. "The number you dialed is currently busy. Please try again later." The number you dialed. It finally hit her. She had been blocked. Her anger, like the rain, gradually faded. In its place surged a tidal wave of fear and panic, devouring her whole. For the first time, a terrifying thought rose in her heart. Gabriel wasn't joking. He was really, truly going to leave her. How could that be? Wasn't he the man who'd stay no matter how badly she treated him? Wasn't he the one who always came back, who never gave up? But as history shows us again and again, human beings learn nothing from history. Just like in love, where countless stories, novels, and films have told the same truth. Treasure the one who's with you. Don't realize their worth only after they've walked away. And yet, people keep making the same foolish mistake, again and again. Just like Carolina, the rain grew heavier. So did the tears in her eyes. Don't leave me. I'll wait for you. I swear. I want to marry you. I want us to register today. If you don't come, I'll wait here, forever, if I have to. Maybe she was trying to guilt Gabriel into coming. Maybe she was punishing herself, some form of self-inflicted redemption. Carolina waited the entire day outside the Civil Affairs Bureau, even when the staff came out to persuade her to go home. She stubbornly shook her head. "No, I'm waiting for the man who's supposed to marry me." But waiting for a man who had lost all hope in her was like waiting for a ship at the airport. Night fell. The rain stopped. Gabriel still didn't come. Soaked through in her thin white wedding gown, Carolina had caught a severe cold. Her fever reached 40 degrees Celsius. She fainted, and was rushed to the hospital by a kind stranger. While she was hospitalized, Alessandro and his mother immediately started buzzing around again, playing the doting boyfriend, offering to stay overnight and take care of her, showering her with love and concern. Once upon a time, she had found Alessandro's sweet talk charming. Sue's mother's gentle words had felt warm and sincere, but now, disgusting. Alessandro's flattery felt revolting. Madame Sue's concern, fake, an act. That old woman was manipulative and greedy, a professional liar. She had never been sick at all. She only pretended to be ill to gain Carolina's sympathy and trick her into marrying Alessandro. The whole family was obsessed with money. Madame Sue kept coming up with ways to scam Carolina, stealing her luxury goods, even secretly swapping her genuine Hermes bags with high-quality knockoffs. Alessandro was worse. He had embezzled over 500,000 yuan in just 1 month, filing fake receipts for reimbursement. If Gabriel had still been in charge of the company's finances, this would have never happened. But after Gabriel left, his replacement was too afraid to confront Alessandro. He just approved the false claims. And it got even worse, because Carolina had refused to sleep with Alessandro and insisted on a purely symbolic marriage. Alessandro began sneaking around behind her back. He would drive her Bentley, a car Gabriel had once gifted her, out to the university district, and place a bottle of wine on the car roof. Drink my wine means sleep with me. It's a suggestive play on words. He posed as a rich heir to lure shallow, gold-digging girls into his car for quick hookups. Carolina was furious. If it weren't for saving face, she would have called the police. Chapter 9. Carolina fired Alessandro, reclaimed the Bentley, and forced him to return the money he had embezzled. Once the office saw that Alessandro had lost favor, they quickly turned on him, eager to kick the next fallen dog while he was down. Some even started defending Gabriel again. One co-worker told Carolina the truth about that office brawl. Gabriel hadn't hurt himself. He was ambushed, beaten up by Alessandro and his crew. Carolina was struck with shame and guilt. She fired the employees who had attacked Gabriel that day. She started texting Gabriel over and over again. "Husband, please come back. I was wrong. I miss you. I want to make things right." But each time, her message was met with a system reply. "The user has enabled friend verification. You are not on their friend list. Please send a request before you can message them. Please, don't leave me, husband." Meanwhile, my cycling journey continued. On Highway 318, I came across many women traveling solo on a budget. I kept my distance from them. I didn't want to invite trouble. But when it came to fellow cyclists, I felt a strong bond. Shared passion meant mutual support. Naturally, one night, while camping in a meadow, I saved a solo female cyclist from a pack of wild wolves. She'd nearly become dinner, but I arrived just in time, shining my high-powered flashlight straight into the wolves' eyes and scaring them off. Still shaking with fear, the girl threw her arms around me and wouldn't let go. That's how I met Rita, a recent graduate from the Communication University. She was riding Highway 318 not just to fulfill a dream, but also to film the journey and share it online as a travel content creator. In fact, she already had tens of thousands of followers, a rising influencer, and it just so happened, her action cam had caught the entire wolf attack, and my heroic rescue, in real time. She posted the raw footage without editing. It instantly went viral. The video racked up hundreds of thousands of views. She blew up, and so did I. Netizens even gave me a nickname, Wolf Slayer Bro. Rita invited me to team up with her, 2 cyclists, 1 journey. I hadn't been into social media before, but after seeing her well-crafted content and her fun, active interactions with fans, I got curious. So we became travel partners, filming and riding together. As the saying goes, a guy-girl duo gets things done twice as fast. With Rita by my side, our popularity soared. Our new joint account gained over 100,000 followers. People even started shipping us, hoping we'd become a real couple. That caught me off guard, but what surprised me even more was that Carolina had also become an online sensation. Only, unlike me, she was famous for all the wrong reasons. She got slapped by none other than Alessandro's mother. That greedy, scheming old woman turned out to be a full-blown shrew. Originally, she had bet on her son conning his way into marrying Carolina, the rich and beautiful CEO. But when the plan fell apart, when Carolina saw through Alessandro's facade, kicked him out, and took back the house, the car, and all the gifts she had given the Sue family, Sue's mom lost it. She stormed into Carolina's office and attacked her. She pulled her hair, slapped her across the face, screaming insults like, "You slut, you venomous witch, you whore, shameless woman, you seduce men left and right and toss them aside like trash. You think divorce is that easy? You owe my son half your fortune." Chapter 10. Although someone called the police and had Madame Sue arrested, the incident had occurred in a crowded office area, and someone had filmed the whole thing and posted it online. The damage to Carolina's reputation was irreversible. The public didn't know the full story. All they saw was that she'd married Alessandro and quickly divorced him. And so, the rumors exploded. They said she'd toyed with an intern's feelings, that she was promiscuous, that she slept around without shame. A tidal wave of online hate came crashing down on Carolina. She was overwhelmed, exhausted, unable to fight back. Alessandro, seeing his meal ticket slipping away, refused to give up on climbing the social ladder. After Madame Sue was arrested, he escalated. and kidnapped Carolina. He tried to extort her for ransom. The police stepped in just in time and arrested him. But the scandal reignited public outrage like gasoline thrown onto a fire. As all this unfolded, I watched from afar, like an outsider. No anger, no pity, just detachment. Whatever happened to her now was no longer my concern. But I never imagined that when Rita and I were riding through the Ollie Central route, we would encounter Carolina, looking utterly worn and fragile, out in the middle of the wilderness. A helicopter was parked nearby. She had flown all this way just to find me. Gabriel. I was wrong. Tears streamed down her face. I finally see how stupid I was. I took your love for granted. I treated everything you did like it was owed to me. I was selfish. I was immature. But I've paid the price. The whole internet is after me now. I don't blame anyone. I deserve it. All I ask is, one more chance, please? She dropped to one knee, holding up a diamond ring with trembling hands. You proposed to me 99 times, and I said no every time. Let this be the 100th proposal, only this time. Let me be the one asking, will you marry me? She looked up at me, pleading with her eyes. I answered calmly, I accept your apology. Her eyes lit up, but then came my next sentence, and they dimmed again. But I won't accept your proposal. She crawled forward on her knees, wrapped her arms around my leg, sobbing uncontrollably. Marry me, please. Just marry me. I know you love me. We can get married. I'll do whatever it takes. Punish me however you want. Just don't leave me again. I sighed and gently pried her fingers off. Carolina, I'm already married to Rita. I'm not about to commit bigamy. What? That's impossible. It's only been a few days. Carolina stared in disbelief. Truth be told, I was surprised too. Turns out, when it's real, you don't need 99 proposals. All it takes is a single look of perfect understanding. On the 7th day of riding with Rita, we made our lifelong commitment to each other. We even registered our marriage at the local civil affairs bureau in the nearest county. The seal on our certificate was still warm. And here's the kicker. When I told my mom about Rita, not only was she thrilled, she recognized Rita as the daughter of her best friend. Lost contact 30 years ago. It was fate, twice over. Carolina didn't believe it. So Rita reluctantly pulled out 2 bright red marriage certificates. See for yourself, they're real. I took Rita's hand and continued riding toward the Himalayas. Ahead of us lay freedom. Behind us was Carolina's hysterical sobbing. I had forgiven her, but she might never forgive herself. That didn't change the truth. She no longer had a place in my life.